Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name's Teresa. Today I'm going to talk to you about herbaceous peonies, but before I do, I want to apologize for not getting back to making videos in January. As some of you may know from watching my last video, I got hurt back in the fall of last year, had to have surgery on my ankle, and our yard is sloped and I've been terrified of falling. So getting out in my garden just sort of worried me that I could hurt myself again and might have had to have another surgery. Well, they didn't tell me they weren't going to deal with my pain, so I laid in there for 3 months hurting so bad that I just laid there and cried a lot. I admit I laid there and cried a lot because they didn't deal with the pain, and I'll never trust another doctor that tells me I got to have surgery unless they promise me, they swear, now they give it to me in writing, that they will deal with that pain, because I've never gone through anything like that before. Don't ever want to go through anything like that again. I got out the other day weeding and turned my ankle, and I come in and sit down because it scared me, it worried me. I just kept waiting for my foot to swell up. But I picked up these peonies, and I want to get them in the ground. I picked up the, so this is the ants that are down, and this Herbaceous. You can see them or not because the light shining on the shiny paper. And the Dublin. The Dublin's going to go in. I want to start me a moon garden, so I'm going to put it in that one. Where to find plants that don't have that little bit of yellow from the pollen showing. The Sarah Bernhardt we've had before, and my son has one at his house up in Kentucky, and he has a plant that grows out in the yard. Sorry, my son kicked a tripod, but it don't matter. This is one plant for beginning gardeners, beginning flower gardeners, that you can go out and dig a hole in your yard and plant it, and it'll grow. It'll live through the grass. The grass won't suffocate it out, but you can't mow it down. You got to mow around it. In fall, the year after the first frost, then you can mow it down. And actually the grass over top of it will help insulate during the winter time. If you fertilize them, give them fertilizer for roses because they don't like nitrogen. Don't give them coffee grounds because coffee grounds has a lot of nitrogen in them. They make great cut flowers. Now I have read that when the bloom on them gets squishy like a marshmallow, right as they start to open up, that you can cut them in and use them for cut flowers and they'll open on up. I've never done that. I've always waited till they bloom, and I would put the bloom in water to get rid of the ants. No, they do not need ants to bloom. They produce a sap, a sweet sap in the bottom of the bloom. I forget what that area of the bloom is called now, but that's what the ants are after. But you want to soak those blooms in water for a little while to get the ants out of the blooms before you take them in the house. They produce a, I can't pronounce the word, it's Peonol, that is toxic to dogs, so you want to put them where your dogs won't get to them. Normally you'd plant them in September, but these, the garden centers, all places this spring have these flowers in these bags, so I picked up these 3. Do you have to divide them? No. They can live for generations. This is a plant that you can pass down to your grandchildren. Peonies is one of those flowers that just lives forever. When I'm looking them up online, it said some of them can live up to 100 years. There are so many different colors of them and so many different varieties, from the single petal to the really thick, luscious bloomed ones. Now, herbaceous peonies are not a tree peony. A tree peony grows on a woody bark. It's like a small shrub. So that's how you can tell it different from a herbaceous peony. or garden peonies, depending on what you want to call them. Normally I call them a garden peony. For this video I call them herbaceous, so that way when you go to look them up, you might have an easier time finding them by that word. It says on here that they are container plant, but they actually grow better in the soil out in your garden than they would in a container. Now the first year when you plant these tubers, when you buy these, you'll want to find the crown, and you'll know where the crown is because you'll find the cut places from the old stem. And you want to put that crown 2 inches under the soil. You don't want to bury them deep. In the first year that root is developing, you might get a couple stems. Well, you should have some stems coming up. This one here. But it produce leaves. It's not going to bloom first year. At least I've never had one bloom first year. And the second year, sometimes you might get 1 or 2 blooms. And usually it takes like 3 years for them to really start producing blooms. If you can't find that crown, where the old stems are cut off, plant it on its side. You don't want to wind up putting the crown at the bottom of your root hole. They don't like standing in water, so you want to put them in a dry area. Not too dry, but well, yeah, you want to plant them where your yard is dry. They need like 1 inch of water a week to survive. If you don't get rain that week, then go out and water your plant. Fertilize them every spring. Give them a little fertilizer for roses, if I said that or not. When you do decide to cut them back after your first sprouts in the fall of the year. Now they are susceptible to a mold, a white powdery mold. There is so if you can buy a spray on them for that, or you can look up home remedies for stuff to spray on them. I think one has to do with baking soda and a non-degreaser dish soap. I've not had that problem with them because you want to plant them where they don't like to be crowded in with other plants. That will cause mold on them, mold with that powdery fungus. Plant them out in the open where they get a lot of air and a lot of sunlight. This is one plant that loves sunlight. There's a woodland variety of peonies that prefers more shade. This has their container plant, but they do better in the ground. And let's see what this says on here about the zones. I haven't read the... Yeah, this says full sun to part shade. Spacing 24 to 48 inches apart. Planting depth 1 to 2 inches. And it says bulb type root, which is your tuber. And they can grow up to 3 foot tall. Really, it doesn't give a whole lot of information on these cards. If this one says anything different. And it don't say anything about the zones, planting zones on them, but I think you can plant them from zone, I want to say 3 to 7, 3 to 9 rather. Here's my phone. We'll see what it says. Planting some peonies. Okay, zones 3 to 8. Grow best in cool climates. And it says needs a period of winter chilling to bloom well. In southern states, choose early blooming varieties, plant them about an inch deep and provide some shade. That's from gardener.net. Anyway, I wouldn't plant them up close to your house because, like I said, you want to put them out in the open where they can get plenty of air circulation around them. They can, like any plant, they can pick up certain kinds of diseases. Like the leaves, if they get too much water, the roots, they can pick up like a black spot. There is so many different varieties of these, from the single petal to the luscious full bloom. Anyway, there's so many different colors and varieties of these. I think the rarest color is maybe a purple. I haven't seen a purple, but you can get them from a single bloom to the, like I said, the thick, lush blooms of the Sarah Bernhardt. If you want to divide them, take tubers from the edge of your plants. Unless you really want to move the plant to a different spot, I wouldn't move the mother plant. I would leave it where it's at. The blooms can get heavy and flop over, so you may want to tie them up, especially after it rains, because that rain just adds more weight to the bloom. So guys, that's my video. I'm going to get here and plant these, and if you want to come along, watch, join me, and I'll show you how to put one in the ground. This peony I planted last year, it's a Felicia, it's a double red, so it won't bloom this year. It really doesn't have enough growth to it. But next year I'm hoping to have really pretty red blooms on it. So that's my video for today. Thank you for joining me. As you can see, it's really simple and easy to plant peony tubers. And I will come back next week and give them a little fertilizer. Actually, I may not fertilize them for like a month. Let the roots get established good enough soil before I give them any fertilizer. You don't want to fertilize them too soon. I know a lot of people throw the fertilizer in the hole, but I don't like to do that for certain plants, and peonies is one of them. Thanks for joining me, and y'all stay safe, and God bless. Start producing really Before I do, I want to apologize for not getting back into